Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome to my glass studio. You know, it occurred to me recently because I'm making a project to put in a stand, and it occurred to me maybe this was a terrific topic that we could cover where I could give you some information, backstory on some of these stands that you might have a better idea what type of display you might like to use for your artwork and in the different scenarios where you might choose one over another. What I really want you to know is if you're going to purchase a stand like this, or like this, or like this, where the glass has to fit in there snugly and neatly, or one like this over here, you know, or this one where the size of the glass is really very important so it fits nicely inside that stand. I highly recommend that you order the stand first, you get it in your studio, and you measure before you build. Because guess what? These two stands are supposed to be the same size according to the manufacturer's description. And let me show you over here. Okay, we take this out of this stand, and look how much smaller it is. You see that gap there? So in class, my students actually built a project to fit one of these stands and then found out it didn't fit. So you really want to make sure you have, those stands in your studio before you build. And then once you do have that stand in your studio, you're going to measure a couple of different places. You're going to measure the largest size it could be, which would, this is 10 and 7/8. It's probably considered, a 10-inch stand. Then the inside dimension here is 10 1/4. So you really need your artwork to be at least 10 1/2 to not fall out. Because you want your artwork to fall somewhere in between this range here and this range here. Now this direction, you want the artwork at least this tall, so you benefit from these little clips here. But let's look at that again. So interior is not 11. Interior here is 10 1/4. So this is considered a 10-inch stand. If you make your piece of art 10 inches, it's gonna fall out. Not gonna stay there. Not great. And really, is it a big deal to make it 1/4 inch bigger? No. What's more important? That your piece of art be safe and sound and nicely displayed. So let's measure this one here. Let's take this out. And so these are two different manufacturers. Oops. Of course, they're two different prices. So, you know, if you're gonna spend some money on these stands, you wanna make sure, again, that you can use it and that it's nice quality. So here, this is 10 inches to 10 inches right to the inside of each of these clips, so that's pretty accurate. But you actually want to make your art a little smaller to accommodate for some growth. So I would probably make my art anywhere from 9 1/2, as long as it's bigger than between here and here, it won't fall out. So somewhere between 9 1/2 and 9 3/4 to fit in here. So these are, again, totally different sizes, but they're both sold as 10-inch stands. Now this one, you want your artwork to be at least this tall, again, to benefit from these clips up here. So why would you want to go to the extra effort of purchasing one of these more expensive stands rather than using something like this, or this, or this, which you recognize from, you know, your home improvement store, or your, not home improvement, you know, your home accessory store? Why would you want to pick one of these instead of one of these? Right off the bat, these are less expensive. This one's the least expensive, this little wire one, but it's also the cheesiest. Now, if you're going to do an art show or something like that, you know, you want to try to, in my opinion, avoid these types of stands because they don't look as professionally. It's not the most professional way to display fine art. It's a great way to display, you know, a little ceramic thing, or, you know, some other, you know, a dish with little dolls on it, whatever. But when you're talking about your fine art, if you really want to elevate it and give it a higher perceived value, you want to put it on a nicer type of stand, and you want to build it for that stand. The other thing about these is this one's kind of very lightweight, so it's not really as strong. If you take a tall piece of artwork and put it in that stand, it's going to have a tendency to want to fall over and fall backwards. And that's not safe, especially if you're doing an art show. You've got wind could be an issue, you know, or the tent shaking or moving, or people bumping your table. You know, that's not really safe. Okay, let's take it and put it here. Now here, this is better, it's safer, and it's also taller. Do you notice how this one lays back so much that the design is not displayed well? It's better displayed more upright, which is displayed more upright here. This also has a lot more contact, higher contact, which makes it stronger, a stronger, more durable display. But this is pretty and I love it, but I think it takes away from the artwork. I think it's too much. This one has very little, but I still don't like the way that takes away from the artwork. So let's just get rid of that one altogether. Then there's one like this, which I love. One of the nice things about this one is it's collapsible, so it takes up less space. I like these little curly cues. You can also mount this to a wall. You can mount this one to a wall as well. Do you see these little holes right here? That's, you can mount that to the wall. And then it's a pretty durable display. All right, so this one is nice and compact. It's also tall, but this distance is not that great, so it does also have a tendency to be kind of tippy. This one's the sturdiest one for not being tippy. And when you put your art in there, it's pretty. It's nice and vertical, so you get good display on it. The light reflects off it nicely. It's nice and sturdy here and here. Because this distance is short, see that distance compared to this distance being longer, right here and here, this will have a greater tendency to be kind of tippy. And also, this has a smaller kind of base where this has a wide base. So although this one's really attractive, I don't know that it's the best choice if you're displaying something in a high traffic area, like maybe on the coffee table, maybe not. Maybe in the back corner by the coffee maker, okay, or on the shelf or up by the TV on the mantle or something, then this would be great because it's not going to be really in a traffic area. It's not necessarily on a table at a show, we have to worry about wind and people bumping it. So then it would be a terrific display stand. So another reason I prefer the stands that are where you make the glass to fit the stand is it shows a much higher, it creates a higher perceived value for your art. It's very sturdy, it's durable, and it looks like it's part of the art. It really makes it look much more professional. So if I were going to make a piece to donate, or for a charity, or for to sell, and I was going to give the piece away, I would always make it for a stand like this because you're not necessarily there when it's on display. It's going to be handled by a variety of different people, and you want to make sure that when that piece of art is on display, it looks its absolute best by being vertical like this, but also is nice and strong and sturdy, and it makes it sell for a higher amount of money, which is better for that charity or benefit that you're trying to help out. So whenever I donated something to the Pink Dragon ladies, I think they were called, and they were women who do rowing to rebuild muscle after having breast surgery for breast cancer. So I donated a piece, and I made sure I had it in a stand like this. So, it's an outdoor sort of ride or something. Make sure that that piece would be displayed well, show well, sell well, and benefit that charity the most. All right, so I want to do one more thing right here with these two. I just want to, again, suggest that, when you get your pieces, order the stand first, then measure it. So that's those two there. Now, same thing applies to round. I have these these three round stands. They're two different manufacturers. This manufacturer has kind of a square stock. This one has a round stock. This stand comes pre-assembled, so it's super, super sturdy. These two stands, this part and this part are separate, which is nice because it comes in a nice flat box. And then you assemble it with these two screws on the bottom, so it does require a little bit of assembly. But if you're doing a show and you need to compact everything, that's a great way to go. This one you do have to plan for this wide base. Same thing with this one. This one is a little different to pack than these others that come apart. Another thing to consider. All right, so these round stands. Let's take this piece out for a sec. These are the same manufacturer. And let's measure this. Okay, this is 8 inches to here, okay? If you make your artwork 8 inches, it's not gonna fit. Let's see what this piece is. Let's turn it right here. All right, well, it is 8 inches, look at that. So 8 inches, okay, it's gonna fit. But, hush, Nikki. Okay, but look, all right, maybe it doesn't fit as good as it could because look at all this. Look at this play on the bottom, okay? You see that? The glass really should be seated a little lower and being in contact with this down here. So really 7 3/4 would have been a better size for this. Guess what? I probably didn't measure the stand because I probably didn't have it before I made it. So learn from me, okay? Get the stand first and measure it. Plus, suppose the stand is out of stock and you have to change your mind, do something different. That's why you want to do it first. But yeah, this could definitely fit better. Okay, that could be resting on the bottom. So we didn't have this tippy thing going on here. Look at this, okay? You see that? you don't have that tippy thing going on, and it benefits from having the support on the bottom, which you really want to make sure is your pieces fit inside this lip so they don't topple out. So 7 3/4 would have been better for that. All right, this one. This is a 10-inch size. I would go 9 3/4. And that way you're sure it'll sit inside and hopefully it nests down in here. This one right here is a 8-inch circle. Let's see if this 8-inch circle fits in there. Nope, it doesn't. You see it's gonna, this is dangerous. Look at that, okay? 8-inch stand, 8-inch circle does not fit. Okay, we really need to benefit from that support down here. So let's measure this again. And it is, inside is 8 inches, okay? So, but it's not a terrific fit. So I would recommend making this a 7 1/4 to 7.5 to 7 3/4 inch size, and then it'll fit in here, and then you also benefit from that. It has a much better look and it's sturdier. Your other option is to grind this after you fire it. No, that's not really a great option. I don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. You're not gonna grind it in a perfect circle like you have after you fire it. So that's not a great option. So, love these types of displays. I think they're nice, give you a quality finish to your work. Display is really important. You know, once you've made a piece, just, you know, stick it on a table or, you know, just, you know, have it kind of somewhere where it's not really showing to its best. You're really, you know, not doing that piece of glass justice, or your art, your time, or your effort. So think about display when you start the project, especially if you're going to work with a stand. You think about it and you resize the art to make sure it fits in that stand. I hope you found this information helpful and that it helps you, you know, go a little bit further on your pieces and plan display from the beginning, and then make your artwork look as spectacular and beautiful and professionally displayed as you possibly can. So, thanks for joining me today. Please like, follow, subscribe, comment. We love it when you do all the above. Consider becoming a premium video member. We have new courses coming out all the time. We would love to have you. The courses have full-length step-by-step video instruction. They come with a printable pattern ebook with patterns, firing guides, color pictures, tips and tricks, and the material list for each of those individual projects. So it's a video and ebook combination that is a winning combination. And each one shows you a different technique, different method of assembly, different type of pattern construction, how to cut glass in a new different way that's a little more elaborate and a little bit curvier. Maybe some stuff you've kind of avoided. Well, I give you cutting tips as well. So become a premium video member. We would love to have you. And until next time, keep it standing and happy fusing.